Hello guys, today I'll be showing you guys how to use the boundary bus base command in SolidWorks. The boundary bus base is similar to the lofted bus base command, but the difference is that the boundary bus base has to do with closed loop sketches, open loop sketches, shaded region. Today we'll get a deep understanding of a closed loop sketch, an open loop sketch, and how the boundary bus base works with these three types of sketches. So first thing, if you look at my working area, I have created a rectangle dotted lines in construction. It's just there to help me make relations. We're making relation to that rectangle. I've drawn an arc there and I'm giving it a dimension of 800 millimeters and keeping it at the distance from the midpoint. This distance of 725 millimeters. I'm also doing same thing to the other arc there. It's best to give your sketches dimensions as you move along, so as to make your sketch fully defined. So there it is, I'm keeping it at the distance also from the midpoint. So I'm going to be mirroring those arcs so that I get a complete sketch that is a closed loop sketch. A closed loop sketch is made up of either three or more than three sketch entities linked together. If you look at a triangle has three sides which are linked together, and that is a perfect closed loop sketch. So also it is with every other closed loop sketch. It must be either three or more than three sketch entities. Two sketch entities linked together is an open loop sketch. So I hope you are getting the difference between a closed loop sketch and an open loop sketch. Okay, so there is my sketch now from them. I've added the required dimensions to it, and there it is shown in my working area. So now I'll be creating a plane now. I'll be creating a plane above the top plane, keeping it at a distance of 200 millimeters. So just as we saw with when we were going with the loft command, we created different planes and made sketch on each of the planes. So same process with the boundary bus base. As you can see, I have just converted that sketch on my top plane into the plane I just created. So I'm creating another plane and keeping it at a distance of 125 millimeters. And I'm going to draw a line there in construction to help me make relation to the next plane I want to create. I want to create a plane at an angle to the last plane I just created. So now I have clicked on creating planes and I've selected that plane and that line. So I'm going to keep it at a degree of 150. Okay, so now I can make my sketch now on that plane now. So I'm going to be drawing a cycle now. Also, whenever you are making a sketch, be careful how you make that sketch to other sketches you have created. SolidWorks automatically adds relations to your sketches. If you are making any sketch and you make that sketch across a line, across any rectangle or any circle, relation is automatically created, and sometimes when you need to add more relation, you get an overdefined situation. So you should be careful how you draw your sketches. If you know that you don't want any relation to be created between your present sketch and your previous sketch, you should try as much as you can to avoid crossing the path of your previous sketch. Okay, so I'm going to be sketching on the front plane now, and I'm going to link the link my sketches together from the top to the bottom. Of course, this was the same process we followed when we were going through the loops command, how we used these open loops as guided curves. But for the boundary base now, it is called an open loop. These are open loop sketches. So if you move to my working area, you see how I am creating a piercing relation between my closed loop sketch and my open loop sketches. So whenever you are using the boundary box based feature, you should try as much as you can to make your open loop sketch and your closed loop sketch will have a piercing relationship. Okay, so I have done that, and I'm also doing same thing to the other end. I'm drawing a line there, and I'm going to create a pierce relationship between my open loop and my closed loop sketch, giving that a dimension of 20 millimeters. And I'm using the spline tool now. I'll use the spline tool to draw a spline to my circle there. Okay, so there it is now. You can adjust appropriately as you desire. So you see, I'm creating a pierce relationship now between those two, the open loop and the closed loop sketch. I'm also creating a pierce relationship there also, and also with the cycle there, I'll create a pierce relationship. So whenever you want to use the boundary box, this is a very important step for you not to miss. You must make sure your open loop sketch has a pierce relationship with your closed loop sketch. So I'm drawing a line there on my circle to help me make a plane to that point. Okay, so I'm going to be sketching on that plane. So I hope you are getting the difference between the loft command and the boundary box. With the loft, I just created a guide curve on a plane, but with the boundary command now, as you can see, I have created an open loop sketch on the front plane, and I am also creating another open loop sketch that is parallel to the right plane and at a distance from it. So same thing, I'll also adjust my open loop sketch here and also make a pierce relationship with the closed loop sketch I have. I also make a pierce relationship with the upper closed loop sketch. Every closed loop sketch I have, I make sure my open loop sketch has a pierce relationship with it. So since it's similar, I'll just be creating a mirror of that open loop sketch, mirroring it across that line. Okay, so that is it. It's done there like that. So I'm going to add a piercing relationship there. I'll also add a pierce relationship there also, and also there too a pierce relationship. So we should know that a pierce relationship is very important when using the boundary box. We need to use the boundary box base, then we should create sketch relationship. So let's get right into knowing the different features we can use in the boundary box base. Okay, so if you look at the property manager now, you will see two boxes there. with a title on it, direction 1 and direction 2. Direction 1, it depends on how you are doing it. Direction 1 should have the closed loop sketches, and direction 2 the open loop sketches, or the other way around. So now if you look at my working area now, you see how I have clicked the shaded region. So now I'm using the standard selection. Standard selection only works with closed loop sketches. Standard selection works with closed loop sketches. So if I click the standard selection and I click my closed loop sketches, you see how they are there, how they are being projected from through each other like that. So that's standard selection. For the shaded region, if I click the shaded part there, then I click closed loop sketches. I told you each box should contain only closed loop sketches, and the other box should contain open loop sketches. So that's, I'm clicking the open loop sketches now. As you can see, I'm clicking the open loop sketches. So you see how the shape is starting to follow the part of the open loop sketch. So I just select the open loop sketches one after another, like I am passing round my closed loop sketch, clicking the open loop sketches in my part. I cannot select an open loop sketch, miss the next one on the part, select another open loop sketch, then come back to that one I missed. I would get a different shape entirely. So whenever you are using the boundary box, whenever you have your open sketches, you should make sure to you select the open loop sketches as you move around in your part of the closed loop sketch. So this is another way of using the boundary box. First, I select my open loop sketches and I move to the direction 2 box and I begin to select my closed loop sketches. So either way round, doesn't matter. Either for your first box you select your closed loop sketch, the second box you select your open loop sketch, or for the first box you select your open loop sketches and on the direction 2 box you select your closed loop sketches. So I believe we've seen how easy we can use the different features available for us in the boundary box based command. So I'm just creating a little extension from the top there, and my shape is starting to look like the original model. So now I'll just be adding a fillet to the bottom there. I'll be adding the fillet and keeping it at a dimension of 15 millimeters. I'll select all the edges at the bottom there, select them one after another, and I click OK. So there's my model now. If I need to see the different views, you see, so there it is. So I hope this video explains a lot of how to use the boundary box based command. It's quite easy to use actually, so just make sure you follow the right steps. Create your closed loop sketch on different planes first, then you make your open loop sketches. Afterwards, you make your open loop sketches have a piercing relationship with your closed loop sketch you have created, and then you add the boundary box based command, whichever way you want to do it, either by selecting the closed loop sketches first in one box then going on to select the Openloop sketches in another box. So there I'm just trying to make some little addition to this model by creating a tightening and or a loosening part. So I'm going to create a helical part at the top there. I'm converting entities there. Then I'll move to the curves and I'll select helix and spirals, select the height and revolution. I'm reversing the direction, and I'll keep the height at, let me see, 35 millimeters. Keep the start angle at 90 degrees. Then I'll keep the revolution also, giving it an appropriate dimension, and I'll click OK. So that's my part for the sweep. So I'm trying to use the sweep command now. That's my part. So now I'll be creating the sketch. I'm going to hide those planes so I can see my work clearly. You can see where I'm sketching from. So this is it, guys. I hope with this video the boundary box base should be quite easy to use. So thanks, guys. So I'm making a sketch there, and I'm giving it the dimension 1.4 millimeters on each side. I'm keeping it away from that point by 0.5 millimeters. Now I'm using the 3-point arc now to make an arc. I'm giving it a radius of 1.4 millimeters. So I finish the sketch and I click the swept bus base. I select the sketch as my profile, then my parts, I select the helix curve I created, and I click OK. So that's my sketch. You see how the model is looking very nice now. I'm going to hide the other sketches. Okay, so now I'll add an appearance to it, and after adding the appearance, then I'll render the model so you get a perfect view of how it is. You'll see how very real this model we just created looks like. I'm going to render it now. Just SolidWorks adding, click the photo view 360, render tools, and I select that, click OK. So here is the rendered view, guys. Isn't this nice? So I want to see you create yours and tell me how the experience is. So thanks, guys. Thanks again.